Shalom, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the elders and the apostles, better known as the Great Millstone. Shalom and blessings to the elect, and death to two-thirds. This is going to be a lesson on uh, healing on the Sabbath day, basically. Now, here in the 9th chapter of John, what's it like? Yeah, let me put this. There we go. So here you'll see the 9th chapter, and with it, this is the blind man that was made able to see. Okay, and just to get to the point, because I'm sure by now you've probably read or are familiar with this, and if not, it is here for you to read. So I'm going to jump to the point. Um, Now, in verse 13, okay, it says, this is where we want to be. Verse 13, it says, they brought to the Pharisees him that aforetime was blind, and it was the Sabbath day when Yahushua made the clay and opened his eyes. Then again the Pharisees also asked him how he had received his sight. He said unto them, He put clay upon mine eyes, and I washed, and do see. Therefore said some of the Pharisees, This man is not of the Most High Yahweh, because he keepeth not the Sabbath day. Others said, How can a man that is a sinner do such miracles? And there was a division among them. They say unto the blind man again, What sayest thou of him, that he hath opened thine eyes? He said, He is a prophet. But the Jews did not believe concerning him that he had been blind, and received his sight, until they called the parents of him that had received his sight. So this is another aspect of faith, and you can see the faithless that they need. Faithless always need that extra step of proof, like vocab. He can't believe that someone can receive something of faith unless he's able to receive it also. That's his big dilemma. And because he can't receive, or because he cannot understand what's going on, he will demonize you. Because even though we understand and we see where he's coming from, that's a perspective of the dead. So he can't see the living. He's I think he's an Edomite. Even if he is an Israelite, even amongst Israelites, you're an enemy until you're a brother, and you're a brother until you're an enemy. And that's the case between Judas Iscariot and also the case with Paul. So you're either hot or cold. Okay. Verse 19, and they asked them, saying, Is this your son, who ye say was born blind? How then doth he now see? His parents answered them and said, We know that this is our son, and that he was born blind. But by what means he now seeth, we know not, or who hath opened his eyes, we know not. He is of age, ask him, he shall speak for himself. So there you go. You know, the man is actually a grown man. Why are you asking the parents? These words spake his parents, because they feared the Jews. For the Jews had agreed already that if any man did confess that he was the anointed, the one to come, the promised one, Yahushua, he should be put out of the synagogue. So that's that fear of being kicked out of the church, you know? And there's a couple groups that do stuff like that. Well, one in particular I could think of, IUIC. If you do anything against them, you'll be put out of IUIC. You saw that unfold with guys like Judah Mack. Okay, so therefore said his parents, He is of age, ask him. Then again called they the man that was blind, and said unto him, Give Yahweh the praise. We know that this man is a sinner. He answered and said, Whether he be a sinner or no, I know not. One thing I know, that whereas I was blind, now I see. Then said they to him again, What did he uh, what did he to thee? He opened thine eyes? He answered them, I have told you already, and ye did not hear. See, they weren't satisfied with the answer. They are trying to trump up charges. Wherefore would ye hear it again? Like, why do you need to hear it again? Will ye also be his disciples? Like, why do you need to hear it again? Like, are you that amazed that you want to keep hearing the tale? Or are you going to be his disciples? Then they reviled him and said, Thou art his disciple, but we are Moses' disciples. So now they're slandering him, basically, right? Or not slandering, but trying to put a stigma on him and discredit him. Okay, so they go on to say, We know that Yahweh spake unto Moses. As for this fellow, we know not from whence he is. Now, how do they know that the Most High spake unto Moses? Like, they can believe that, they can receive that. And that was all in faith. Because no one saw Moses directly talking with the Most High. They just saw him leave and come back. So that's their big hang up. They can swallow a camel but strain at the gnat. Because that's a pretty big thing right there. Believing ancient custom, this and that. It's like, well, how do you know? You weren't there. That's the same logic on a bigger scale, and they're not understanding that. It says, We know not from whence he is. The man answered and said unto them, Why herein is a marvelous thing, that ye know not from whence he is, and yet he hath opened mine eyes. Now we know that Yahweh heareth not sinners, but if any man be a worshipper of Yahweh, and doeth his will, he heareth him. Since the world began, was it not heard that any man opened the eyes of one that was blind, that was born blind? If this man were not of Yahweh, he could do nothing. They answered and said unto him, Thou wast altogether born in sins, and dost thou teach us? And they cast him out. See, that's that old IUIC tactic. It says you were born in sins, altogether born in sins, and now you're teaching us, and they cast him out. And see, that's why one thing they hate about men of the Lord is that we're unlearned men. We didn't go to their prestigious little events and meetings and schools, and we don't have to do all that. We're born of the Spirit, baby. Okay. Um, Yahushua heard that they had cast him out, and when he had found him, he said unto him, Dost thou believe on the Son of the Most High? He answered and said, Who is he? Lord, that I might believe on him. And Yahushua said unto him, Thou hast both seen him, and it is he that talketh with thee. And he said, Lord, I believe. And he worshipped him. And Yahushua said, For judgment I am come into this world, that they which see not might see, and they which see might be made blind. And some of the Pharisees which were with him heard these words, and said unto him, Are we blind also? Hey, they're freaking out. Yahushua said unto them, If ye were blind, ye should have no sin. But now ye say, We see, therefore your sin remaineth. You see? That's where you get that saying, ignorance is bliss. So, um, doing the work on the Sabbath day is actually a good thing, because if your body isn't whole, then your body is not at rest. Anytime you have an ailment, your body, or even you're losing, when you don't have, what do you call it? You lose one sense, you gain another. So you lose your sight, your hearing works harder, your smelling works harder. They say it's more honed in. It is because your body is trying to gain sensory. So your body is not balanced, and the Most High, he hates a false balance. So Yahweh Shai going around and healing and fixing everything, they should have known these things. But it wasn't meant to, at this time, to persuade everybody and gain the whole world. That wasn't the point. The point was faith, to look for the faithful throughout the nation of Israel. So it is lawful to do healings on the Sabbath. It is. Otherwise, Yahweh Shai himself would have not done it. And that's that. Shalom.